Okay, in this video, we're going to go over a law of sines, including the basic case and the ambiguous case. So let's look at your warm-up, which was a basic case, okay? So we have two angles and we have a side, and luckily we have a partner already. So that makes our problem easy. We have an angle partner pair. So it's going to be the sine of 77 over what? Over 15 equals sine of 23 over C. So the rule is you must have an angle and its side, and remember its side is always opposite, matches another angle and its side. And now we're simply going to cross multiply and solve algebraically. So I have C sine 77 equals 15 sine of 23. How do I get C by itself? Divide by the sine of 77. Now, if you were old school like me, we used to have to open the back of our math textbooks and there was a chart and you would have to find 77, go over to sine, and write down the decimal answer and do it the long way. But you guys have great calculators that will do it for you. So you're going to go ahead and type in your calculator 15 sine 23 divided by the sine of 77, which gives you, to the nearest tenth, 6.0. Oh, I'm hearing two different answers. 6.02. Okay, those of you that got 12, can you double check and make sure your calculator's in degree mode? It does make a difference because it's degree modes because my answers are in degree. Is everyone good? All right, ready to move on? Okay, so let's look at this next example and we're going to make a sketch. So I have angle A, which is 41. I have lowercase a is 40, and we'll just go B, 89, and C. Okay? Now, here are the rules, okay? Yesterday, I just went through a sample problem with you. Today, I'm going to go over the rules. If A is acute. Now, let's time out for 1 second. A is going to be whatever angle I have a partner with. So it might not always be A. So if this said B, capital B, and this was lowercase b, that would technically be my A, okay? So if A is acute and A is smaller than B, we need to find H, okay? So if A is acute and A is smaller than B, we need to find H. So we're going to put in our height, okay? And how would I find H? What would I do? I'm going to use basic trig because this is a right triangle. So I'm going to do the sine of 41 equals H over 89, which then becomes 89 sine 41 equals H. Type that in your calculator. Please make sure it's in degree mode. From the original. Okay, and what did you get? 58.9. Okay, so 0.39. I'm sorry. So we're going to do 58.4. I misheard you. Sorry. Okay, now, is H smaller than A? No, because H is not smaller than my A of 40. No triangle exists. And I always spell exists wrong. Sorry. Exists? Is that right? Or is it? I had it right the first time. Sorry. Exists. That doesn't look right. That's right. It looks weird to me. Okay. So no triangle exists. Okay. Are we good? So you stop solving. Okay. Everyone good? Good. All right. Let's look. Somebody said no. Question? Oh, you're still copying. Okay. I'm going to pause for a second. Okay, to recap, if A is acute, A is smaller than B, I have to test H. When I tested H, it was not smaller than A, so H was bigger than my A, so no triangle exists. Let's look at the next example. Again, it's an acute triangle. My A is acute. Notice it doesn't say A, but it's my partner. Right here's my partner. So if you want to cross it out and label it A and this lowercase and then make this B, it doesn't matter. Okay? So it's an acute and A is smaller than B. It's smaller than the other number given. Yes? Okay, so then what do I need to do? I need to find H. So there is my perpendicular line to make my right triangle. And what would I do? Sine 30 equals H over 8. 8 times the sine of 30 is, it's 4. Exactly 4. That's beautiful. H equals 4. Is that smaller than A? Okay, so this is the ugly case. Okay, if H is smaller than A, there are 2 triangles. There are 2 possible triangles. Okay, so this is the most work you would have to do. Okay, we're going to do that one right now. Okay, yes. What is A? Yeah, capital or lowercase? Okay, so as I said in the beginning, all of these rules are based angle A. Not every picture will label this A. So when I refer to A, I'm referring to the angle that's given and its partner is given. That will always be A. So even though it says B, you can quickly cross it out and call it A, and then we'll switch this one to B. Okay? So A is the partner given, B is the other piece given. So I have an angle side pair that in these shortcut formulas, that will always be A. And the other piece given will be B. Yes. Is that helpful? So when I do the formula, I'm not going to do every combination. And when we learn law of cosines, I'm not going to do every combination. Yes. You're trying to find the missing sides of the triangle, missing sides and angles. Okay? So we are going to start by finding angle C. Okay? Because I know lowercase c. I know side C. So I'm going to do the sine of 30 over 5 equals the sine of C over 8. Okay, so let's take a timeout again. A is simply whatever pair is given. Okay? I am now just referring back to the letters in the picture. Okay? If you relabeled them, let's say you called this capital B, then you would have sine of capital B. It really doesn't matter. You can say sine of capital X. As long as the partnerships are correct, we're good. Okay? So now I'm going to really have 8 sine 30 over 5 equals sine of C. How do I get rid of that sine of C? Inverse sine. The inverse of sine is not the same as cosecant. Okay? There was a lot of argument. I had a long discussion with another student. They're two different things. So right now you are typing this in your calculator and getting me an answer for C. All right, so I am hearing that it is 53 degrees, okay? If that is 53 degrees, this other missing angle would be how much? Okay, so we're going to do 53 plus 30 is 83, and 180 minus 83 is 97 degrees. So this is 97 degrees, okay? If this is 97 degrees, please find me this missing side, okay? Take a moment and find me that missing side, and we'll show the work. All right, can someone please talk me through how I would find that missing side that was X? I would have sine, hold on, let's start with the original. Sine of 30 over 5 equals sine of 97 over X, okay? So then it becomes, we're just going to do 5, the sine of 97 is equal to X, the sine of 30. Then I'm going to divide by sine of 30 to get X by itself. And when I type this in the calculator, X equals about 10, 9.9, about 10. Okay, we'll go with 10 to make it pretty and easy, okay? 10? Okay, where did 97 come from? I already had the 30. When I found this angle here, angle C, it was 53. And I know a triangle must add up to 180. So I added these two angles together and subtracted from 180 and got 97. Okay, now, here is the issue, guys, and this is why this is a tricky problem. Your calculator is not very smart. So when you type this in the calculator, it can only give you one answer. And it will only give you an acute answer. It will never give you an obtuse answer. So we found the acute answer. Now we're going to find the obtuse answer. Okay, are you ready? All right, so I'm going to clear the work so we can start fresh. Okay, so the acute answer for this angle was what? 53, okay? To find the obtuse is going to be 180 minus the answer the calculator gave us, which was 53. So what is 180 minus 53? What'd you get? 127? Okay, so this could have also been 127. If this is 127 and this is 30, how am I going to find that angle? I'm going to add those together. So 127 plus 30 is 157. And when I do 180 minus 157, I get 23. Okay? So this could have been 97 or it could have been 23 degrees. Okay, so the rule is the first round we do the acute because that's all the calculator can figure. Then we go back and we find the obtuse, which means we then have to fix this angle. Okay, good. All right, now you have enough information. We're going to find this side again simply by doing sine 30 over 5 equals sine of 23 over x. So now I'd like you to solve this one, and then we are done. Okay, so I'm hearing x equals 3.9. I would be okay if you bumped it up to 4. It's fine. 3.9. So again, as I was saying, this is the worst case scenario. So we would have either had 30-53-97. Look how I'm writing this, guys. These would have been my angle measures. And then I would have had 5, 8, 10, right? Or I could have had 30, 127, 23, which would have been 5, 8, and 3.9. Okay? Those are all the possibilities. It looks like a locker combination, yes. You need to write all your scenarios. Okay? Yes, that is the worst case scenario. Let's do some more easy cases, okay? On your quiz this round, I would only put one of the means. Okay. All right, the last of the acute cases. So I have an acute angle, 29 and 11. So this time, I'm not going to put letters in the picture because it was confusing some people. Notice, this is what's important, okay? This partnership right here, okay? And the additional piece of information, it doesn't matter where I put it, but I'm going to put it here. Okay, there's 20. The last case, A is acute. A being whatever angle is given. Okay? So if this said B, this said C, it doesn't matter. If it's partner, did I pick the wrong scenario? I picked the wrong scenario. Hold on. Okay, we get change. I typed it wrong. To change the original, I typed it wrong. Make this 20, make this 11. Sorry. Because we already did this case. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay. 20, this is 11. Okay, so if A is greater than B, A being the partner given, the side that partners, is bigger than the other side given, there is only one triangle possible. Okay? And we don't have to find H. We simply do, like we did on the warm-up problem, we do the law of side. So, how am I going to start off this problem? What's the first part of the ratio? Sine of 29 over 20 is equal to the sine of capital X over 11. Okay, and now what am I going to do? I'm going to cross multiply and solve. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to do that. Okay, so you should have done inverse sine of 11 sine 29 over 20, which gives me, okay, so we want to round that to the nearest whole degree to make it easier. Let's go with 16, because it would be 15 point, oh, but that's double rounding. Technically, it's 15. Okay, 15 degrees, okay? Because if you bump the 0.46 to 0.5 and then bump it again, that's double rounding. We're not going to do that. Okay, so how do I find this up here? Excellent. You've been doing that since middle school, maybe even elementary school. 180 minus 29 minus 15, which is 136. Okay? I can now use that to find little baby x. Okay? Set up the proportion for me. What would it be? Sine of 29 over 20 is equal to the sine of 136 over baby x. 30 seconds, find x. So, I'm hearing a lot of people have their answers. And what do we get? 28.7? Okay. Okay. For sides, I'd like you to round to the nearest tenth. So it's going to be 28.7. Problem done. Okay, we have 2 cases left. 2 cases left and we're done, okay? All right, so all the cases I've done so far are if A is what type of angle? acute. So now I need to talk about A being obtuse. Okay, so here is my partnership. Notice that it's not A, but I'm going to refer to it as angle A. Okay? Angle A obtuse. When I say angle A, I'm talking about the given angle of the partnership. Okay? If it is obtuse and my A is bigger than my B, B is referring to the side that's not a partner. So, is 10 bigger than 7? So then there is one triangle. You guys already know how to do one triangle. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to find the 2 angles and the one missing side. Help each other out. I'll show all the work in 2 minutes. Okay, so let's set this problem up. You should have the sine of 112 over 10 equals the sine of b over 7. It then becomes 7 sine 112 divided by 10. Do the inverse sine. And we get how many degrees? 40 degrees? 40.4, which we're going to round to the nearest whole, so we're going to go ahead and call it 40 degrees. So this is 40 degrees. So 112 plus 40 is 152. 180 minus 52 is 28. Did I do my math right? Check. Okay, so this is 28. Now I just need to find this. Help me set it up. Yes, we always start with the given partnership equals the sine of 28 over my mystery. So it is going to be question mark sine 112 equals 10, the sine of 28. I know some of you know some quick tricks about swapping and flipping, but I'm just going to show all the work. Divide by the sine of 112, which gives me what? To the nearest tenth. 5.1, problem done. Okay? All right, we're on the last case. Again, I'm talking about an obtuse angle. Can I proceed? Okay? All right. Can someone tell me what my partnership is? B is my partnership. So, all right. So it's obtuse. It is 11 compared to 20. 11 compared to 20. What symbol goes here? Why did I start with 11? 11 is the partner, right? It is less than. If A is less than or equal to B, no triangle. This is for obtuse. For acute, it's different, but for obtuse, no triangle exists. It could be one or two. You have to find H. And if H is smaller than both, then it's 2. Cool? If A is smaller than B, it does not exist. Remember? No, guys, you need to listen again. A is referring to the partnership. A is referring to the partnership. So this is the partner side. Is the partner side smaller than the non-partner? Then it does not exist. So think of it as A is partner, B is non-partner. Okay, because the rules are all based on A, but not all the pictures are made with angle A, okay? Good? All right, so now we're going to practice some more.